This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
7 is the home of the AFL Grand Final. As we know, watch 12 hours of live, free and exclusive coverage on 7 and 7 Plus. Kicks off at 9 a.m. In fact, I'll be all over this. Brian Taylor is all over it.
Brian Wayne.
Hello, Brian.
Hello, everybody. How you going?
Wonderful.
Wayne.
It's. Do you get excited on Grand Final Eve? Does it start to build?
I've been excited all week, actually.
Yeah.
The Cities of Bars having a Melbourne-based team in the finals as big as Collingwood are. There have been, I reckon there's probably been, I don't know, there might have been 100 to 200 functions this week.
Yeah, right.
The city, I walked around the city at night and I walked around this morning down to Fed Square. Place is absolutely buzzing. A lot of Brisbane supporters in town as well, but dominated by the tattooed Collingwood people.
Is it as buzzy as that year, 2013, when the Fremantle Dockers got in the grand final and there was just the purple haze? It was purple everywhere. Has it got that vibe?
Well, we had a couple hundred people over here from Fremantle, but not in comparison to what we've got going here at the moment. No, look, the Purple Haze did create a bit of a scene over here, but it was good. But it really is unbelievable this year, Collingwood and Brisbane. It's been really exciting, been a really fantastic week. Football's alive and well.
Yeah.
All sorts of records being broken, membership, attendance, the massive 5 crowds over 90. What have we had? 13 crowds over 80,000. So footy's back.
ABT, what's your old team playing off in the grand final? So do you been to, you mentioned the functions, amount of functions, been special guests and telling the stories about when you dominated and kicked millions of goals?
Not really, but, we, as you know, we roll out the same ones every time we go somewhere, so nothing's changed, that's for sure, but it really is. We'll just keep rolling them out until they don't want us anymore, so that's all we know. But, looking forward to seeing how the Pies go. Interesting with their team selections and what they've done with that, not to upset the balance. They brought in the big as McStay's gone out. But I was surprised that Ginnivan was named on the ground and not as a sub. I think he's been good in that spot.
Yeah, that's an interesting move. But he's got the energy, to get the crowd up and about. He's a feisty character.
Yeah, he has. He's one of those players you want playing on a big day because, as you rightly say, he is one of those guys that somehow some players engage with the crowd and they either hate or love, but they still engage.
Yes.
And he is probably the one in the Collingwood team that does that more than any other, more than even, say, Jordan De Goey.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian Wayne. Want to know, usually when people are watching the GF, they're having a drink. When's the first time alcohol touches your lips on grand final day?
Not till 6:01. 6:01 p.m. So haven't seen a drop of it this stage. I've been offered beef and chicken on at least 25 occasions. I've ignored that as well. So I've actually lost weight going into this grand final week, which is
shredding for the grand final.
Yeah.
Are you roaming? Will roaming Brian be making an appearance in the winning team's rooms?
No, it's just chaos down there. Like in a grand final, you can't, it's open slather and anyone can go there. And you just can't physically move a camera crew and all the people needed involved to be able to do it. So we tried it about 3 or 4 years ago. Didn't work. So we basically will settle for what's happening out on the Oval and let the rooms do their own thing.
Of course, the AFL season goes forever these days, BT. So what's your downtime after this grand final? What do you do?
Well, we're heading off. Got family and friends going up to Queensland. Booked a trip up there, so there's about 30 of us going to this little island up there, which will be fantastic. And then really, the off season for me is exactly that. I go down to Lorne. We live on the coast. Yep. You guys would be used to that over there. There's coast everywhere. Here, there's not. But go down to Lorne, which is a beautiful coastal town. That's where we actually live, and spend 6 months down there. Wait for the footy to start up in March again.
Oh, how
You
good,
go there
BT.
for 6 months and wait for the footy to return.
Yeah, how much is
so
that?
good.
What a weird little life you've got.
Well, there's no point working when you don't have to work.
Yeah. Good on ya.
Shut up, Brian Wayne.
That's actually amazing.
The pub down there is supposed to be an absolute cracker.
It's a lovely
on the
spot,
coast?
Lorne. Beautiful.
Yeah, the Lorne Hotel's famous hotels where they have the pier to pub, swimming race. And recently, Toddy's, who's owned by, I forget the guy's name, out of Sydney, who's done all those incredible restaurants in Sydney. And so it's got a really good restaurant vibe down there, but it's a real surf town, Lorne.
Yeah.
Brian Wayne, are you part of the culture there in Lorne? Like, you on any committees or anything?
Yeah.
Well, look, we have had a house there for 35 years, so I guess I am on a committee. It's called the Lawn Aquatic Club. It's a pissy little club with about 1,000 members, and we're right on the water, right on the pier, and council want to kick us out all the time down there because we're taking up a really good spot. We've been there for 100 years, and it's an absolute disaster. But anyway, we've got...
We'll take up the fight.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
This is great. Brian, Wayne.
At least you've got something to concentrate in the off-season. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Yeah, so way to focus your energies. Well, may the best team win tomorrow.
Absolutely. And great
what's it
calling
like,
to you, BT. Sorry?
What?
What's it like over there with no buzz at all? You've got nothing happening in football. You've got two teams that aren't very good.
It's cricket season.
And
What are you talking about?
you must be just about, wondering what the hell's going on in life.
No, we got the Royal Show on at the moment. So you know what?
Get down to the bloody chook show, mate.
Yeah, no, mate, no one's crying in the Gravitron. The tears are pushed to the back of their head.
Plenty of things to do. We haven't found them yet, but there is some. There is some, BT.
Very good, very good.
We're just waiting for the draft.
Yeah, we're waiting for the draft, and then, of course, it's crab season, as you know, down in Mandurah, so we'll get stuck in the Blue Manors.
Yeah. We're going our rock lobster catch limits gone up.
Yeah.
That's
Go
good
for the
news.
Marin. Go inland, you guys.
Oh,
Go
yeah,
for the
nice.
Marin.
Yeah, okay.
Lovely. Couple of yabbies.
Yeah, Pinjarra way.
Yabbies. God, they were just disgusting.
No, they're wasted
Were
time.
you-
Did
you-
garlic
mud.
sauce.
Did you go
Yabby.
yabbying much, Brian, or not?
Well, yabbies are full of mud. I just heard someone say they're absolutely disgusting, and they are. They're just full of mud. They come out of a dam. Cows and the sheep have been pissing in for years.
And that to me is that yabby smell.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh,
Garlic,
yabbies are
garlic
rank.
sauce fixes everything.
Oh,
What are you
yeah.
talking about?
God.
BT, good luck for your call tomorrow,
Yeah.
mate. We'll be watching Channel 7, as I said before. All the footy action
all
will be
the
on there,
action.
mate. Great season had by you and all the team there,
And
mate.
enjoy the off-season as well.
Good on you. Thanks for having me.
Nathan, Nat, and Shaun podcast.
Time to catch up with our friend, the host with the most, Anthony Albanese. He's
That's
also the
right.
Prime Minister.
He's the Prime
obviously.
Minister. He's the Prime
Albo,
Minister.
hello.
And he wants us to vote a certain way, and that is...
Yes.
Yes! 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 Yes!
Is that him or is that someone else we know that lives in his house? Prime Minister, good
Albo,
morning.
Hello.
Good morning. What an introduction that was.
Yes!
You were wondering, where
I
did they get this
don't know
recording
why
from?
you used You're the Voice when you had Harry Met Sally sitting there waiting to go.
We should have used Meg Ryan, you reckon?
Don't you think?
She was in everything there for a while, wasn't she, Prime Minister?
She was America's sweetheart.
Oh, it's a great movie and a great scene.
It
I
certainly
really
is.
liked her in Working Girl. It's the first time I ever saw a woman wear sneakers with a business suit, with like a
Wasn't that
business
Melanie
skirt.
Griffith?
That was Melanie
Yeah.
Griffith.
How dare you?
Yeah.
God,
Oh,
that's
how good
sort of thing.
Sleepless in Seattle.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I don't
You've
think I
got
ever watched
mail.
that whole
A,
thing.
a tearjerker.
Yeah.
It was always with
Indeed.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were the golden couple,
Yeah,
weren't
they
they?
were.
Albo, what's your most favourite movie of all time? If it's on the TV, you just settle it. It'll grab your attention. You'll just sink into the lounge and watch it.
Well, here we go. True confessions here. On Father's Day this year, I sat down with my son and we watched Godfather and Godfather 2. We didn't get to Godfather 3, but the trilogy is magnificent.
I have
it
never
never-
seen it.
I've watched them
none of
100
them.
times over, but
Are you joking? I've never
Isn't it?
seen it.
Isn't it? A
Well,
legend
my
has it.
son hadn't seen it either. That's just bad education. They are movies that you have to see.
for sure.
And do you
because-
believe that the second one's better than the first? Because I know a lot of people say that, which is unusual for sequels, obviously.
Oh, the second one's magnificent. I think the second one's the only sequel to, I think it won Best Picture
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
as well. It is just, De Niro and Pacino are just magnificent.
Oh, you love
in
your
anything,
Italians.
of course.
It is interesting when you watch them back,
Indeed.
Prime Minister. When you watch them back, because they're so old, sometimes it takes a little bit away. Cause
Yeah.
oh my
It's like
God.
everything
Yeah.
could
You know,
have been
the
fixed with a
props and everything
mobile
else.
phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's slower pace because
Yes.
movies are like a quicker pace. But I do love the fact that that's the movie that you do is the Godfather, and
Yeah.
mine's White Chicks.
Same. Similar themes.
Same.
Rubbish movie.
Prime Minister, we are obviously going to touch on the Voice and the vote coming up, the referendum coming up here. Have you been a bit disappointed in the fact that there is factions rather than, I'd imagine that, this is a thing, and I've read it a lot, that this should be a time where we're all coming together rather than, splitting apart?
Well, it should be
Yeah.
a moment of national unity because it's such a modest request. It is a request to be recognised our history, the reality of this great continent we share with the oldest continuous culture on earth. And we should recognise First Nations people in our founding document. Pretty straightforward. And the second thing is the form of recognition that Indigenous Australians have asked for is just a non-binding advisory committee to give advice, to give a voice so that they can be consulted on matters that affect them, because we know that when you ask people who are directly affected, you get better outcomes. But I'm still very hopeful going forward.
Yes.
Everywhere I go, there is a positive response. I've got my local Yes launch on in the inner west of Sydney tonight. I've got the great Ray Martin will be interviewing myself and Rachel Perkins as part of that event, and in a showing my age as well. We've got the Hoodoo Gurus playing.
How good!
They played in Fremantle on Sunday night, actually. Yeah, for the 40th anniversary of America's Cup win.
Oh. Well, the last time I saw them was there at the Perth Telethon dinner there at Crown last year, and they were awesome. Everyone got up and danced, and it was a good bit of fun. So that will round off the evening. But there's 120 events in Perth alone between now and October 14, and so people are getting out there. What I've found is that when people actually look at what the question is and get away from some of the fear campaign that was there too. Remember, the fear campaign was there with marriage equality and with the apology to stolen generations. None of it eventuated. And it's really similar. Like it won't, there's no downside here. There's just an upside for the most disadvantaged group in Australian society. And why wouldn't we want to embrace that by voting yes?
Oh, look, the yes vote doesn't scare me. And, you know...
but there is a lot of fear-mongering out there, for sure.
And because people are being told that it's going to spiral into something else. So that's not the thing. But I do understand why there is resistance at the moment, Albo, and that is because at the moment... People for the yes vote to get over the line, you have to look outside of yourself, you know, and you have to look for another group of people, and you have to look out for them.
That's true.
At the moment, people are protecting themselves because of the cost of living, and I'm going to be honest, they don't have the brain space to be able to think about that issue when they are trying to put food on their tables and put petrol in their cars and keep the lights on and keep the heating or the cooling on. That's why at the moment, it's just the timing of it is really unfortunate, because I just don't think at the moment people are feeling generous enough to
think outside themselves.
To think outside of themselves. What do you have to say to that?
Well, I think Australians are generous people.
No, I do think they are generous. I just think the timing is stuffed.
Well, I understand that people are doing it tough, which is why we're putting such a big effort into putting that downward pressure on inflation by giving cost of living relief, by fixing the budget. We've turned a $78 billion deficit into a $22 billion surplus last year. That's about putting downward pressure on inflation, about helping people at the same time as we've provided that cost of living relief. And we'll continue to do what we can to engage. We're dealing with supply chain issues as well. Fee-free TAFE has gone gangbusters in Perth, really making a difference.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that benefit from that,
So we're doing all of those things. But at the same time, people can, I think, take a few minutes to just look at what the question is.
For sure.
It's so clear.
Yeah, and there is a lot of information out now. Yeah, for sure.
Vote yes.
Yeah.
And make a difference. The truth is, it won't impact on most of people's lives. It won't impact on your life directly.
No,
but it will help some of the most disadvantaged people by giving them
just
a voice, so that we get better outcomes. And the other thing it'll do is, if you give people a say, then you give them responsibility for the outcomes as well. Yeah. And you'll get better efficiency. You'll get savings. Instead of bureaucrats in Canberra making decisions, let's get, when it comes to people in the Kimberley or the Pilbara, ask them what they think should happen, and you'll get better efficiency. You'll actually get savings. There's been a lot of money thrown at Indigenous affairs over the years. It's not closing the gap. It's not efficient.
So
we need to do
need a
things
different
better.
Approach. Yeah.
And that's what that's what it will do.
Well, I can't wait until
on
you're
you,
in
mate.
Perth the next time because I think that maybe we'll do a special screening of The Godfather 3 and we'll watch it together.
Yeah, let's do it.
didn't
As
get
a
the last one
family,
of the
we'll watch it together as a
trilogy.
family.
Yeah.
It's on. Well, I've got to tell you, you should line up someone who you know in Canberra to drop by the lodge next Saturday. There's an open day in the morning.
Yes.
And they can go and see that your photo is still up.
Still on the
above the
mantelpiece.
fireplace
Oh, my
in the
God.
lodge.
Oh, my,
An
that's so
open
funny.
day.
Yes.
So you can check it out for yourselves.
You
I'll
better
just give
nail
the
it down.
address.
Someone will flog that.
Yeah, that'll be on eBay for millions by the end of the
Well, they
day.
might no, we'll have security. I think there'll be
Put
a
an
special
air tag on
camera
it.
Special
on
camera.
that photo.
There should be.
We love your work, Albo.
Good
Thanks,
on you,
buddy.
man.
We'll catch up again soon.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, mate.
Cheers, bye.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
This time last week, I was over in Bali, snuck off for 5 nights.
You sicken me. That's your second trip to Bali this year, right?
Yeah, I got FOMO after I was there in the July holidays, so we hadn't
Yes.
been like for 5 years, and
Yeah.
realised that's the place for me.
And also, you had to go back and get your Bintang tattoo finished because they just did the outline.
Full sleeve.
Yeah.
Well, that brings me to another story because my wife Megan got tattoos last time, so she got another one to add to the
Did
story.
What'd she get this time?
Yeah, just a little.
Just a teardrop on her face.
That means you killed someone in prison, doesn't it? Yeah.
She got a little microphone to represent Cooper on some chain that she's got on her leg.
Oh,
And
that's
then-
cute.
And then something else. Anyway.
What about a microphone to represent what you do?
Like, you talk into one
You know, these
every
things?
day.
You know,
Like,
we're
Cooper
like,
does it
We're
occasionally.
literally surrounded by them.
But no, it's true.
Or is or on her little chain on her ankle? Is it like a losing tab ticket?
Oh, it's definitely a stab through the heart. That kind, that
Yeah,
tattoo
yeah,
people
yeah.
get. Anyway, I was down the front in the afternoons. Love to go down the front, just sit there and have a few beers with some of the local guys.
Where in
And-
Bali?
In Bali.
You mean on the beach?
On the beach,
Yeah, okay.
as a lot of people do,
Just
as
in
the
the front.
sunset goes down.
Beautiful, Sean.
And this, so I was just sitting down with the normal guys that I sit with Megan and the kids, and this young girl came along to join us, and she was friends with the Balinese guys that we're friends with.
Oh, okay, right.
So I introduced myself to her, and her name was Talia. She was from Byron Bay, and that she'd been over in Indonesia for a while on a surfing trip with her partner, who's now gone home. So she's mates with these guys, so then she comes in the afternoon like we do and just joins in on any conversation taking place.
Beautiful.
So that was good to meet her. And then Megan decides to bring up, for no particular reason, the reason why we're friends with a couple of these Barlow guys, in particular is one guy, G'day.
I've met him.
You would have. There's
What
a
did
few
you
of them.
say when you met him?
G'day.
G'day.
There'd only be one g'day.
There's only one
That would be
G'day
the
Barlow.
one.
Yeah, it's
That
only
would be the one.
There's only
one
one-
known
there's
man.
only one
really,
good choice.
really
Yeah.
lovely
Only-
guy.
Yeah. So G'day saved me when I was drowning in Bali many years ago.
And you say that flippantly, but you were legitimately
Yeah.
in a lot of trouble, which is surprising because you're a great swimmer.
yeah, I'm a good swimmer. Yeah.
His life flashed before his eyes and it was just debt.
It was.
So you went out to save somebody else, right? And
Yes.
then that person was fine and you got into trouble.
Yeah, so when I went out there to save this person, and I remember so clearly, it was quite late at the night. I went out there, I swam out there in a heartbeat. Another person came out there on a longboard,
Yep.
Yes.
and I was able to get to this guy first. I asked him how he was. He said he was just concerned about his board. I told him how dangerous this was and we need to get in. So he was able to then jump on the longboard with this girl who took him in. And meanwhile, I tried to swim in and I got stuck out there, and it
You're in all
all went
sorts.
terrible. So I was
Yeah.
in all sorts. So this guy saved me. Anyway, Megan brought the story up because that's how our friendship started with G'day. This girl had been sitting with us. She just went all quiet.
Yeah.
And she started asking questions about it. It turns out she was the girl who came out at the same time and got hold of the
She was the one
German
on the
tourists.
longboard.
How many years ago was
10
this?
years ago.
And she just
was
wanders up the
15.
beach and sits down with you. She was 15
She
when
was
she did
15. So
And she knows g'day as well.
and Kutut.
that. What?
She didn't know Obi-Wan like he's just next door serving the Terps. But anyway, that's another story. But she was 15. She said she was sitting on the beach, just like I did, and watched this idiot in the water.
Yes.
Her parents were there and they'd had a fair few. And because she was a surf lifesaver as a 15-year-old, she thought she should go out there, grab a board, not like me, who thought I was
You're
Trevor
just gonna
Hendy and I'd
swim.
just swim out there.
Yeah.
So she came after me and she saw she'd go and grab a big longboard off the beach and she swam out there and she was the one who took in the German guy
And left
then
you
I
out
was
there.
I was stuck out there.
So did you have a crack at it?
That's
But, what'd you leave me out there
So
for?
she came in and Megan talked to her and the German guy
Yeah,
when they
right.
first came in and said, "Where's my husband? He's out there." And the guy said, "I don't speak English at this stage," which he did because he said to me, "I'm staying here because of my surfboard." And 10 years ago to the day, she just wanders up and she sits down
I
next to us.
love
What are the
these
chances of
stories
that?
where
That's
the
great.
planets align. You hear these stories of when someone's married their partner and they've been together for 10 years and then they're looking through
Yes.
a baby book and then they see that they were next to each other in the delivery room.
Yes.
In the baby ward. The stuff like that are brilliant. I love those stories.
Jeremy, hello.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey, Jeremy.
Everybody. Okay, talk to us. What's the eerie coincidence?
So when I was like 8 or 9, my parents took me to the Gold Coast, as you do when you're a kid, and I was on one of the rides. And to get that little memento, we had a photo on the ride. And let's fast forward 28 years.
Yeah.
I am now dating a girl that was sitting next to me on that ride.
Oh, my God, Jeremy.
Wasn't your sister, was it?
Jeremy, so how did that
No.
conversation come about when you realised that was the case?
We were actually packing up the house. We were going through old photos. And my mum actually brought it out. And she goes, "Oh, do you remember this?" And I was like, "Yeah." Sure enough, we looked at each other and went, "Oh, my God."
That's
So
amazing.
was this the photo that you buy at the end that they
Yeah.
take?
Yes.
It is, yeah.
So straight away, she would have seen in your mum's photos a photo that she thought was hers and gone, because it's
Yeah.
exactly the same photo.
Yeah.
She thought it was her photo. She thought I'd taken that photo from her house. I'm like, no, that's me.
That is
So
insane.
was she from here as well, and they'd gone on a family holiday too at exactly the same time?
Yeah. She's from down south, and I was in Perth, so
Amazing.
no other way would have been there.
Don't you wish
Amazing.
you found that out before your wedding? And that could have been your wedding invitations. Just
Yeah.
that picture of you two screaming your box off.
I love those stories.
That's so
a good
incredible,
one.
Jeremy.
Thanks, Jeremy. Debbie, hello.
Hi, how are you going?
Good,
All right,
Deb.
blow us
Deb.
away with an eerie coincidence, Deb.
Yeah, about 35 years ago, roughly, I went to London for a working holiday, and I was in doing my washing in a laundromat. And back in the days, there was no mobile phone, so I was writing a airmail letter to my mum and dad, letting them know that I'm still alive.
Yes.
Yep.
And there was a guy in the laundromat, and we ended up getting chatting, and he was an Aussie guy as well. And he says, "Oh, you're writing a letter to your parents. You're writing a letter." And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Where are you from?" And I told him where I was from. And he was my next door neighbour, but one from Perth.
What?
And we were in London doing our washing at the same. And he showed me his ID, and I showed him the letter on my address, and we were just absolutely blown away that we'd never met as neighbours, but here we were in London doing our laundry.
Doing it in the
amazing.
same laundromat. And
Debbie,
it was
I find that's
one
amazing.
house.
Yeah, one house from each other.
Amazing.
But this is the thing. Don't you feel
It was-
like
yeah.
the universe has put you back together?
Yes.
Like, are you supposed to do something?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what's the next step?
Yeah.
You just
Yeah,
finish
you-
your laundry and walk
no,
away?
you fold your laundry first,
you
and then you
fold
go.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Thanks,
Good
Debbie.
question, by the way,
Okay.
because we all struck in those positions. Are we supposed to do
I
something?
know.
Yeah.
Like, you've been brought back for a reason. What's that reason? Vanessa's in Palmyra. Hey, Ness.
Hey, how you going?
Good, Vanessa.
Blow us away with your coincidence.
Yes.
So basically in 06, we went over to the grand final to watch the Eagles playing.
Yes.
And we thought it would be a great idea to make up a sign. So we had this sign that said, "My mum loves big cocks." Because
Yeah, the
playing
Dan
in
Cocks,
the, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the sign was quite a hit. We were like celebrities in Melbourne. Everyone wanted photos with us, and it was
It's
great.
the
We loved
sign
it.
girls. Quick, everyone, get your cameras. Yeah.
We had photos with everyone.
Love it.
Strangers were coming up to us. Anyhow, fast forward a number of months later down the track, and my best mate goes on a date with some guy that she met on the internet, and they're sitting there talking about, what they've liked, things that they've done, their hobbies, and they talk about the Eagles and that they went over to the grand final in 06, and he goes, and she mentions the sign, and he goes, we had photos with those girls. And she's like, are you serious? And so then after the date, my girlfriend rings me up. She goes, Van, you've got to go check out and look at these photos, see if this guy's in your photos. And sure enough, there he is in the photos with his mates and our sign and us in there. And basically, they've now got married and they've got kids. And, yeah.
And he likes
they are
big
in our
cocks as
holiday.
well.
Yeah,
No.
that's, well, who doesn't?
That was on their wedding invite.
the sign was an absolute.
So what this is telling me is I
everyone-
need to check all my old photos and scour them to find
Your partner.
my future partner.
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah. So, yeah, it was really, really good.
Oh, they are
That's great. Thanks,
Thanks
Vanessa.
But
everyone.
maybe the universe has put you together that you haven't acted on it, just like we were talking about. 'Cause it seems to be.
Yeah, what's the next step?
what
What's
is
the next step if you don't marry him?
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
The countdown continues to Saturday's grand final between the Brisbane Lions and Collingwood Football Clubs. Of course, they've met a couple of times before, 2002, 2003. When
What happened
Brisbane
then?
was successful, led by the great one, Jonathan Brown, who joins us now. Brownie, how are you,
Pleasure
brother?
to be on. How are you guys? Great to be on, and it has been very enjoyable this week because it is 20 years since 2003 Premiership, and most of my appearances this week have been with Nathan Buckley.
Yeah, right.
So it's just nice to just a couple of little jabs into the ribs here and there, just a reminder.
You beat him both times. I mean, in 2002, though, he played a bloody good game, and Vossi played a pearl of that game as well. But, how's he been with that? Because, he's won every accolade under the sun, but you knocked him off both those times you played.
Yeah, I know. It was he was a great player, wasn't he? Yeah, 2002 he won the Norm Smith medal. We actually had to do a grand final recall the other day, and I hadn't seen the game since that game, and nor had Bucks. So we actually had to call it back and have our observations of what happened, and it was really interesting actually because it was about 8 degrees, a high of 8 degrees, and the players were slipping over all day long. But Bucks played an unbelievable game and nearly won the game for the Pies. They were massive underdogs. We were flying at that stage. But can you believe it was so wet and rainy? Probably the worst day, complete opposite of what it's going to be on Saturday. It's going to be 29 degrees here in Saturday.
I'm so glad you just told me the grand final's on Saturday. I didn't know.
Saturday. Don't book anything else in there, Nathan, that day. But on that day, 2002, the property steward, Ian Hawke, I love the man, but not on this particular day because he forgot my wet weather footy boots. He left them in Brisbane.
Did he?
So
Sabotage.
Sabotage. Yeah, I reckon he'd been planted by the Collingwood hierarchy. But anyway, it's a great week. We're looking forward to it. It's just starting to build up in Melbourne. There's a bit of excitement around, and all the Collingwood nuffies are getting around town. They've got about 3 teeth between them all.
Well, as long as they're sharing them equally.
That's right.
Is there wet football boots and dry football boots?
Yeah, this is all new stuff for Nathan, obviously, Brownie. But you take him through the screw-ins and the moulds.
Well, the screw-ins are a bit longer, Nath.
And therefore dry?
No.
Softer grounds. Keep going.
Yep.
So screw-ins, yep.
Screw-ins, and they're also handy if you want to scratch them over someone's face.
The long stops, eh?
But normally they're used for standing up and obviously in slippery conditions. Now, on this particular day, he forgot my boots, and Justin Lepich wore the same size boots and same brand. So Adidas Supernovas they were, size 13. So I said to the property steward, is Leper wearing his wet weather boots? And he goes, no, he's not. The great Justin Lepage. And I said, well, I'm going to wear his boots without him knowing. So obviously then at quarter time, Leper was slipping over the whole first quarter. And then he went to Ian Hawke, I want to get me wet weather boots. And he goes, Brownie's got them on.
If you can get it off Brownie, you can have them.
He said to me, he comes to me then and goes, do you plan on keep wearing those boots for the rest of the game? I go, yeah, I do, in fact, because I saw how many times you slipped over.
Yeah, exactly. Not going back. Hey, Brownie, tactically, there's a bit of chatter on the social media over here that perhaps the best thing that Brisbane could do will be to fly Dom Sheed over just and put him in the front row just to get into the, the psyche of the Collingwood players.
I actually brought up Dom Sheed's name during that recall. We called it the Dom Sheed pocket in the 2018. But when we're doing that 2002 recall, we said the Dom Sheed pocket, and you could just see Bucks just bristle up. So he's pretty good with it. I think he's been able to come to terms with that loss that day. But anytime you mention that man's name, like a cold shiver goes down his spine.
Oh, absolutely. So, Brownie, thinking back to 2001, 2, 3, which you had unbelievable years with the Brisbane Lions, your connection then to them playing in this grand final, how were you feeling in the prelim? How do all those memories and that connection go for you now?
Well, it's pretty amazing. Like we've all experienced it. or hopefully at this stage of your life, your team being in the grand final. I've never experienced it because I was a Fitzroy supporter. Now,
yeah, right.
As a family, Mum and Dad would book the holidays in March. They would book it for the start of September because we knew that Fitzroy wouldn't even make the finals.
Yeah.
So playing's different because you're not really in the supporter mindset. So this is the first time I'm going to a grand final and my team is playing in it.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait. I'm going along, and Dad played 50-odd games for Fitzroy.
Yeah.
So I'm dyed-in-the-wool Lions supporter, so I'm pretty excited.
Now,
So
this
good.
will come as no shock, but having just found out that it's on Saturday, I don't ever watch the grand final, so I'm out doing things, and it's amazing because usually I think it's going to look like a ghost town out there, but there are other people out there doing stuff, which...
Not when the Eagles are playing.
Which,
I remember living
yeah. But
in '92, the first first premiership they won, I was living in Perth. There was my family, and I remember kicking on one of the main streets in Perth. Me
On the Narrows.
kicking the ball. Just we lived on the boulevard through Floriat there.
Oh, yeah.
The boulevard, and that's normally pretty busy.
Yeah.
We were able to kick the ball there for about an hour.
Not one car went past.
you know what?
It was literally a ghost town.
I love hearing your rags to riches stories of your days in Floriat.
Yes.
So
A little Aussie battler.
my next question for you guys, isn't this for you and Brownie, is have you guys ever not watched a grand final? Has there been a grand final that you have not watched? Because every day...
I've been overseas twice, Nath, and I've still gone to a pub and watched them. There isn't, is the quick answer for me.
I swear to God, Macca, that we were on a footy trip in Bali when the grand final was on, and I don't recall watching the grand final. I'm not sure you would either. I may have watched it. It might
have been on.
My eyes might have been on the TV. I can't recall
But
anything.
my face is on the floor of peanuts.
Oh, my God. My face. I'm still recovering from that. I've got scars on my body still from that day. I remember we did a joint footy trip together, us in Brisbane, as it turns out, and I got home from that footy trip and I had scars all over myself, and I had to explain to Megan at the time, what the hell had been going on?
Was that from your breakdancing? What was your scars from?
Someone... I was hanging out with a couple of mad dogs.
Sort of some burning going. At least you didn't do your shoulder like Callum Mills from Sydney.
I know. What do you think about in this day and age,
Have you heard
Brownie?
that story?
What?
Sydney co-captain Callum Mills is on the Mad Monday and he's had a bit of a wrestle.
Oh,
with
something
it.
blew up in his face?
No,
No.
that was a country footballer.
that was different.
He's buggered his shoulder to the point where he went straight in for surgery the next day.
He's a professional footballer and he's injured himself at Mad Monday.
What do you reckon, Brownie?
Well, you
not a good
sort of
look.
wonder, don't you, how easily it could happen. And
it does.
When you're around.
I can't believe something didn't happen to one of our boys over the journey, and probably yourselves as well, Macca. The closest we got to an injury on was Silly Sunday was when Martin Pike, four-time premiership player, played one at North Melbourne. Pike had a novel way of negotiating contracts, and we got to about 2 a.m. The CEO of the Brisbane Lions was there with him. Unfortunately for him, he was engaged in a contract negotiation discussion with Martin Pike. And Pike was pretty forceful, and he couldn't quite make any headway. So Pike went to the toilet and came back and headbutted the CEO and knocked him over the bar. So that's the closest we've seen to it. The bloke had glasses at the time, cut the top of his nose.
My God.
So you think, this is shocking. I've got to get Pike out of here. He's going to be sacked. The next day, Pikey was recontracted to the Brisbane Lions for another 2 years.
What do you have to do? What do you have to do to get sacked? That's amazing, isn't it?
Wow, are we going to have to headbutt Lachlan Murdoch?
Exactly right. So there you go. You go the opposite. Just you zig when everyone's zigging, you zag.
Yes.
No negotiating tactic.
All right, what's your tip? Who's going to win? Obviously, you think Brisbane's going to win. Who's going to win the
I
Norm
do.
Smith?
I'm going to go for Dane Zorko.
Oh, yeah.
Just,
He's playing his
been a great
250th,
player.
isn't he?
Yeah, he is. What a
milestone.
What a day that'd be. 250,
Yeah.
Norm Smith, premiership. So we got our premiership reunion on Sunday. All the boys are in town. For a few of the Perth boys have flown over. They played in the Lions premierships, and we are hoping it could be one of the great moments. But we're shutting down a pub for the day in Fitzroy.
Oh,
Going to have a good
Lord.
time, and hopefully the bus with the current Brisbane Lions team we'll
going
be
to
able to
turn
come
up.
past the pub and maybe have a photo and a beer with us. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? 20 years on. So fingers crossed that'll occur on Sunday. If not, they won't be
Drowning
invited
of
anywhere
sorrows.
near the pub.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
exactly.
hey, Brownie, good luck. I'll be going for the Brisbane Lions.
Yeah,
no
me
doubt.
too.
I think a lot of people
because
get
I can't
behind
go
the
to
Lions.
Collingwood. Seriously.
No doubt about it, mate. Always
I'll
good
go
to
for the
speak to you.
Lions too. Sean, you tell me what happens.
Love your work,
I'll figure it
Brownie.
on Monday. Good on you. Good on you, Brownie.
See
Good
you
luck,
guys.
mate.
Thank you. Bye.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean in podcast form.
So you hear like these stories, but it's like, does this really happen to people? A Channel 9 sports reporter, her wedding has been cancelled 3 weeks from the big day.
Unbelievable.
3 weeks. You've got everything. Everything's good to go.
And just over the past few weeks, there's been posts that her and her partner have put up. Her celebrating his birthday, them being at events together, and everything looked all hunky-dory.
So something bad has happened.
Something has gone down, and we've been talking about
She's been sprung.
people pulling the pin on the wedding just weeks or days before the wedding. I wonder if anyone has ever been to a wedding where everyone is sitting down waiting for the bride,
like
and
the
then
no-show.
she doesn't come down.
Yeah.
That would be thrilling to be part
Or
of.
the groom says, I'm going out for a cigarette and never comes back.
You know what would be exciting about that? Is the thing you bought from the present for the,
You can keep it. That's right.
You get to keep your ice cream maker.
And your ice bucket. Laura's in Scarborough. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Laura.
Laura. Talk to us about a wedding that was cancelled at the last minute.
So it wasn't mine, but it was Mum. So sorry, Mum, if you're listening to this, she's going to hate me. But basically 2 weeks before the wedding, she ended up pulling the pin because she found out that her fiancé was still married to his ex-wife.
Okay, that's problematic.
Well, that's...
So legally the wedding couldn't go ahead.
That's the problem with Australia and the way they look at sister wives. You know what I mean, Sean? They look down on the sister wives situation.
I know.
So they're really a group of girls having fun together, loving the same man.
If only we all lived in Utah. Laura, did they stay together or did she feel too upset about that?
Well, my mum and her and him had been together for 10 years. So I don't know how you don't know.
So
Laura, we did have a
Just
guy
a
that we worked with, though.
paperwork
We had a
issue.
guy that we worked with who...
Yeah, that was a fairly unusual circumstance, though.
But he was still married to
Yeah, but he was a
that
gay
woman.
man.
Yeah, he was a gay man, and,
No, but he was
and they
still
were
married.
married.
It's just a piece
They
of
were
paper.
married in Vegas as part of
Yeah.
a stunt on their
And
Kentucky
then
tour, and the paperwork
they
never
just
went
forgot
through
about
to you know.
But back to you, Laura. I want to know about how did she find out?
Because they went to apply for, I don't know how it works, but you apply for, the marriage certificate
Yeah,
or
the
whatever
license.
it is.
Yeah,
Yep.
you gotta- yeah.
And she couldn't do it because he was still married. So we actually went through with, because we'd obviously paid for everything. So we kind of went through with the celebrations, but they
Yes.
didn't actually get married, and he wasn't there.
And he wasn't there.
You had the wedding without him being there.
Most women say the problem with the wedding is the groom.
That's true. Just
a
rule
lot of
that out.
brides
I mean,
have said
it's a party that's been paid for, Sean. So you've got all the booze, you've got all the food. Of course.
Yeah.
I
Why
get
wouldn't
that,
you?
but so you go to get married and getting back to the point of he's already been married or he is already currently married. Why didn't he know that? And why wasn't it a thing where you go, oh, well, shit?
I think it's all very suspicious, personally.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So they're not together anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Laura, can I just say my favourite thing about this whole thing with you telling us this story is we know that your mum probably doesn't want you to share it, so you whispered the entire thing.
That's all right. Sorry, Mum.
No, I just thought she was. So anyway,
Just telling us over the fence.
the whole conversation was like this, Laura.
Very
Wait
conspiratorial.
there. Sorry, guys, hold on. I can hear something. Anyway,
Someone's coming. Thanks, Laura. Kira, hello.
Hi.
Hi, Kira.
Kira, talk to us about a wedding that was cancelled at the last minute. What happened?
So I was with a guy for 10 years, engaged for 2.5. So it took 2.5
You're not
years to
Laura's
plan
mum,
the
are you?
wedding.
Sorry.
Very good.
Keep going,
Very good.
Kira.
so weird. I have a daughter named Laura. Anyway, yeah, Kira.
Yeah, so 2.5 years to plan the wedding. We spent $50,000 on it. 6 days beforehand, he decides he doesn't want to go ahead with it. His friend from his work cancelled her wedding the day before, so he went out to cheer her up. And he came home and ended it with me.
And
Wait, there what?
So the work friend has cancelled her wedding. Obviously, that's a big deal because they're well down the track as well.
Yeah. No, so at that point, were they involved?
Yes.
Well, the funny thing is, he wanted her to come to my hens night, which she cried at.
She cried.
Well, because
Okay.
you're marrying her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it's pretty rude of you.
So the wedding, that was it. It was off.
Yep, it was off.
You'd paid $50,000.
Kira.
Yeah, and we lost the whole lot. We couldn't get any of it back because you need like 2 weeks.
That's on him. That's on him to cover.
Did
that
he
bill.
end up then
being with her?
Yeah, being with her.
Yeah, he ended up getting married to her 5 months later, and they've got a kid already.
Oh, Kira.
Okay, so it was definitely
That's
there was definitely
heartbreaking.
So
stuff
she
going on.
broke off her wedding, and then he's gone
And
to
they were-
console her, and that's where. So he went to console her. or
It
he
was
just,
going on before then.
Yeah, yeah, but like,
Yeah.
but
be together,
then
we
he
should be
went-
It had to have been going
So
on
that
before
would have
then.
been that would have been a conversation they
found
maybe
his-
said is both of us cancel our
Yeah.
weddings, and then one did it, and the other one goes, "Oh my god."
Yes, because if
I
if
found
neither
all
of them
his
cancelled.
Sorry, Laura. Sorry,
I found all his paperwork that he was building a house with her 2 weeks after she broke up with me.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I think it was
All right.
going on prior.
Yeah. So they were cheating.
Kira, did you feel? I mean, apart from the betrayal thing, was there a feeling of great embarrassment to let everybody know that this wasn't going ahead? With 6 days out.
I had to let 100 people know, like, the next day.
How did you do it?
Kira, that is heartbreaking.
Is that a group text or what is it?
No, I rang everyone. Like,
So even
really,
his
by
family
myself.
and friends.
Yeah.
And
I
did you
it
tell
all.
them? Could you tell them really what happened, or did you have like a sort of run of the mill?
They were all asking questions.
Yeah,
and
of course they
told
were.
everyone.
Yeah, okay, good, because you're in the right. You're
Yes,
in the right.
you're in the right.
Kira, have you found a new partner?
I have. Yeah, we've been together for 5 years now.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good,
Onwards
mate.
and upwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's many good blokes like me around. Kira, just keep fine.
Tony's in Duncraig. Hi, Tony.
Hi.
All right, Tony.
Tony.
So, you were invited to a wedding, yes?
Yeah, we were invited to a wedding in Melbourne, and it's funny because it was a last-minute wedding, but now it's kind of last-minute being called off.
Oh.
So we're all set. We've got our flights. Everybody's set to go, and then they realised that he hadn't finalised his divorce.
Oh,
and they've been
one.
married for 15 years.
Yeah.
And so when he asked to get a divorce, he thought it would be really quick, but she said no.
Oh.
And so everyone's lined up to go. And it's like, it's both of their second marriages. And, it's such a long time since they've been separated. They didn't think it was going to be a big deal, but she's like putting her foot down and saying absolutely not. So now they have to go through that process where, one of the people doesn't agree to the divorce.
Yes.
Really?
It takes
Because
a really long
you said
time.
It sounds
what do you
like
mean by
married at
contested
first sight, doesn't it? When they're at the
Yeah.
commitment ceremony and then one person wants to go, the other one wants to leave, and they make you stay there for an extra week.
But they've already left each
Except
other.
with 70-year-olds.
They're 70. I'm sorry, at 70, if you want to leave your partner, just let them go because they've got 5 minutes left.
But I think the lesson here is that if you want to get married, before you organise the wedding and pay the deposit on the venue, maybe get the paperwork done with your ex.
Hey, Nat, can I
And
ask you
before you get everyone to get their flights
Yes.
to different states and countries.
Yes.
70. Give it up. Honestly, I'm with Nathan.
No,
there. You haven't got
70-year-olds
time
can be
left.
happy too. but-
Oh, no, it's romantic. I
You
love
haven't
it.
got time for the
It is
paperwork.
romantic.
No, the most of it. Nat, a contested divorce?
Well, it's like essentially, they haven't agreed on the terms of the divorce. So he's saying, I'll just sign here. And she's like, no, hang on, it's a bit trickier than that.
But is it? If you've been
Yeah,
split up for
100%.
15 years or so?
Well, who knows? Who knows what
I don't
assets
know.
he's
So,
sitting on?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
there's a lot of factors.
Usually
at play
there's
there.
like an agreement of payment
Yeah.
over a period of time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
someone's been
Yeah.
paying the other person and that's going to stop.
Yeah.
Mm.
And between them, they probably own 8 houses they bought for $40 each.
Yeah, I guess there's a bit of paperwork.
Tony. Let's go to Ellie in Cloverdale. Hello.
Good morning. How are you going?
Good, Ellie.
Ellie,
Hi,
are you a
Ellie.
wedding coordinator?
I used to be up until very recently, yeah.
God. Okay, you've got
So
some
I've got
insight.
many stories.
Yes, please. Hit us with one.
So a few years ago, there was a wedding and it was all happening, and we got to the wedding day and the groom was, at the end of the aisle, all the guests were waiting. The bride rocked up in the limo, freaked out, and they left.
sped off and never came back.
Well, she actually got out of the car and went, nah.
No, the limo
Stayed in the
told
car.
the driver, just keep going. I don't want to do this. And her maid of honour called one of the other guests and said they're not coming back. So that was it. The wedding was done. But
So wait, then
He was
what happens to everyone at the wedding when that happens? Because she's taken off. Do people because you got the food and everything there? What's the reality of what happens?
Well, everyone was quite in shock. So there was certainly like a half an hour where we weren't quite sure what to do, if we wait to see if she changes her mind. But eventually her family, like her immediate family, just started filtering off and leaving.
Oh.
And the groom, because everything was paid for, he just carried on.
So her family left and his family stayed and ate and drank everything.
Yeah. But at what point are
pretty
the
much.
guests allowed to put their hand in the wishing well to get their present back?
I know. I know. Well, it didn't look very full at all, to be honest, from memory. But, they pretty much just had a big party and cut out all the formalities. So, yeah.
You know, with the wishing well, if you're going back to the wishing well, you always grab the fattest envelope.
Oh, definitely.
Fine, it's like
That is
$5
amazing.
notes. Yeah.
That guy just standing there. Because at the start you go, oh, this is she's
a bit of
giggles.
fun.
Oh, a bit harsh.
Yeah,
she's got me out.
she needs to fix her lipstick or something. It's just taking longer. But no, she sped off. Imagine the maid of honour. It's enough that they have to organise the hens day and everything.
Yeah.
Imagine having to place that call. Oh yeah, no, she's changed her mind. She's
That's
not coming.
crazy.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish off with Sherry in Lansdale. Hi, Sherry.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good, mate. We're having the greatest time talking about this. What happened?
Oh, well, my husband at the time, this was going back 10, 11 years ago, he was working obviously with a young lady who was going to be getting married.
Yeah.
3 days out, all the guests from South Africa flew in. It was 3 days out from the wedding.
Oh.
She was 20. I was about 42 at the time.
Yes.
And she approached my husband and said, hey, if I don't go through with the wedding, are you up for it?
What?
Are you available? Can we make a go of this?
Yes.
And clearly that's the direction they went.
What?
And so there was no wedding. I found out later that I broke into his Messenger account, as you do.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Account.
Yeah.
And found all these messages from her asking him over on a Sunday and will you come and see, meet me for aerobics and aerobics.
Is that what you call
How
it?
old was he?
Well, you do get a sweat up.
How old was he?
He was 40, yeah.
And sucked in. You know what? Sucked in. Here he is, just because he thinks they're hot. As a 40-year-old living a 20-year-old girl's life. The amount of stuff he would have gone to, Sean is going,
That would have been a nightmare.
So you're ready to go to a wedding, and instead you lost your husband, essentially.
Yeah, that's right.
Sherry,
so, yeah.
Were you guys invited? Were you invited to that wedding, Sherry?
I wasn't.
Oh.
I wasn't, but he could have very well been.
How did she have such a close relationship with your husband to begin
They all
together.
worked
Oh,
together.
so you okay, right? So those two were more close than you guys were, yes?
Well, not that I was
Obviously.
aware of.
Yeah.
It blindsided me. He ended up. Funny enough, it didn't end up with her, but he ended up marrying another woman from the same workplace that he met through his workplace. That lasted 15 months, and then he just recently got married to another one from that same workplace.
Holy
Hey, where is this place?
So,
We've got to go and check it out.
all these single women that just want to get
Does he work
married.
at a modelling agency? What is this?
No, I hate to tell you this, guys, but he was a radio announcer.
Was he? Do we know him? Don't say his name. Do we know him?
No. Well, you could have met him down along the line, but no, I don't think so.
Wow.
Was he super attractive?
I don't think so. Oh,
I don't think so.
He had a nice car.
Yeah, the charm.
Kind of
Yeah,
lives
yeah,
what
yeah.
we're talking about.
Wow,
I think
Sherry.
He's actually schmoozy. He can schmooze anybody, but
Yeah.
it's not what I sometimes listen to him on the radio and I say to the kids, God, who's that? I don't even know who that is.
Yeah.
So he's currently on the radio today. These days.
He still does a bit of that. Yeah.
Sherry. Everybody, let's open up a new competition.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
One of the greatest Collingwood players to never play in a grand final is Brian Strawn, and
That's
we've got him on the phone
Here
right
we
now.
go.
Strawny.
Here we go.
Strawny, come on.
Strawny.
Nathan and Nat and Shaun. Strawny. There's your promo. Put that on.
Strawny, I have to say, we're thrilled to know that we can now buy a piece of Strawny on Cameo. Unbelievable stuff, but your price is only $85. Can I just go through?
cheap.
I'm looking at other Australians here. Kyle Sandilands is charging $1,564.
Are you serious,
Natalie
Nat?
Bassingthwaite is charging $782.
And you're charging $85, Strawny. Come on.
Strawny original price was $75,000, and I got spoken down to about $80, and so it's way too cheap. It's a rip-off. Strawny's been ripped off.
Yeah.
You are being ripped off.
You're being exploited.
Can I say the
Exploited.
Australian
Yeah.
Christmas elf Alabaster, which is a guy dressed as an elf, gets $156.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. It's like child labour, but it's adult labour. That's what it is.
So, Strawny, is it because, the perception is that Collingwood supporters who are most likely to, hire you are battlers? They're the great Aussie battlers, so they're not going to have $75K in the pocket to pay for Strawny?
It's a good point, Nat. Strawny is a man of the people.
Yes.
And Collingwood supporters, they're working class.
Yeah.
And if they can, if they want to tip and put a little bit of extra, like an extra, $60,000 or so, whatever they have, they're welcome to do that.
Yes. They'd probably go to the dentist first, I would have thought, but priorities.
Nat, come on, Nat.
No, well, it's whoever's got the tooth at the time. They'll take it to the dentist and they'll share it around.
They got to pass it around, yes.
Strawny, I've got to ask you, Nat was reading, going through your
Wikipedia page.
and I find this part interesting. So you are I think you were voted the captain of the All-Asian, the Asian team of the century.
Asian team of the century.
All Asian team of the century, yeah.
So Peter Bell, he claims that that's a title that's afforded to him only. So where do you sit on that?
No. Well, I mean, me and Bally have had this conversation privately many times, and I'm disappointed he's gone, public with it. Strawny, we had a wonderful ceremony at one of the Horsham's finest Chinese restaurants.
Yes.
Belly didn't even rock up, to be honest. So, so
was that a Korean bathhouse?
I would actually have Cameron Ling ahead of him in the Asian team of the century.
Oh, that is a big call.
So, Strawny, you claim your Asian heritage on your mum's side, right?
Mum's side, yeah, my mum's soybean.
Soybeans drawn.
Yeah. And
And is that because she bought something from Wok in a Box once, or?
No.
No, because she's genuinely Chinese. And Strawny didn't realise until later on in life that I was actually adopted. So, she wasn't my true mother. So, she was my stepmother.
But she was the only mother you ever knew, right?
Exactly, and she raised me like one of her own. She really did, And she's cooking us some lemon chicken right now. I can tell you that. I can smell from here.
69.
Lemon chicken.
Hey, Strawny, how are you feeling ahead of the big game tomorrow?
We're nervous for you.
I'm nervous, yeah. I really am genuinely nervous for you.
I can't wait because, I think what Fly has done is a stroke of genius. He is, in inverted commas, named a peroxide, power forward in Billy Frampton.
Yes.
But will it actually be Billy Frampton or will it be another peroxide blonde power forward?
Power forward.
If you get my drift.
BK Strawn.
Oh, yeah, picking up that.
BK Strawn will be playing. You can guarantee it.
Really?
He may even be captain. Strawny may even captain the team because
it makes sense.
Darcy Moore has got a wrist injury, and Strawny's had a few wrist injuries over the years, I can tell you that.
Mostly overused.
Strawny!
Yeah.
And Strawny has always played through them.
Sometimes he's even used his feet.
Now, we're a bit torn about that, of course, because Billy Frampton is a good West Australian boy, and
South
so
Fremantle.
that's the only thing that could make us barrack for Collingwood. So if
I'm happy for Billy. I mean, like if Darcy comes out with that wrist injury, and Strawny comes in, and Billy plays.
Yeah.
Two peroxide power forwards next to each other. I mean, that is That is.
It's what dreams are made
McRae
of.
says he likes entertaining. He says he doesn't like boring footy. Then play Strawny. Play Strawny.
Well, why wouldn't
That's a
they?
good point.
Give the people what they want.
They do want that.
Exactly. And I've already asked Gil. I said, Gil, if Strawny kicks the goal, because he's saying, we're not playing, John Denver Country Road when Charlie Cameron kicks the goal. But Gil's basically checked out now. He's done. And, I think he's been drunk for the last week. So he's going to play. He's told me if Strawny kicks the goal, they're going to play Milkshake by Khalees. And Strawny's going to bring all the fans to the yard because Strawny's. Yeah, and then I'm going to twerk on the wing, right on the sponsor's logo. So it's win-win.
It is win-win.
Yeah, grind the goals. Grind on the goals.
I have seen
Toyota
Strawny.
just sold 10,000 Corollas. So.
I have seen Strawny's recently. Sorry, I've seen Strawny's. I'm worried about the fitness and running out 4 quarters if Strawny is selected.
In the heat too, because it's going to be 29.
Strawny loves the heat. He loves being in the kitchen. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah,
And,
he'd do some fine work in Bali, I reckon, Strawny.
He does some very good work. I've been there this week. Just got back from Bali, actually.
Oh, there you go. Oh, so you are primed. You're ready to go.
Strawny's primed. A lot of people do Mad Monday. I do Mad Friday. I do it before the game. So Strawny is ready to go. The chafing is fine. It's a bit red down there. There's no doubt about that.
What are you going to do,
I've had to stop running for elevators. That's something that's probably, I can't do anymore. But just get it into Strawny. Strawny's paddock. Everybody clear it. Clear the 50 and get it to Strawny.
Yeah. Strawny, what do you think about Kiss performing?
Kiss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I don't know why they just wouldn't come to Strawny and say, what can you do, Strawny? Because don't even wait for Strawny to kick a goal. I could actually perform Milkshake.
Yes.
Yes.
Pre-game, half-time, post-game.
Yeah.
Give the
get
people
the
what they
twerking
want.
going. Imagine Strawny just twerking before the game.
Yes.
I mean, that would just get
And then
the
a
crowd
real
going.
Australian version of Milkshake.
Milkshake.
What's the thing with all the bottle tops on it? The stick?
Oh, the lager.
The lager fine,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be Strawny's, if this was in Adelaide, it'd be Strawny's iced coffee flavoured milk. Brings all the boys to the yard.
If it doesn't go Strawny's way and he's not selected in this game, will he have the
mouth.
same celebration and feel as part of the team as what the 22 who run out on the ground feels, do you think?
Yeah. Strawny will make it all about himself. There's no doubt about that. He will find a way. He will find a way. But I suspect Strawny will play, And, I'm a big game player. I played in the Legends games. That's actually bigger. He's actually stepped down from Strawny playing in an AFL Grand Final. I've done the Legends game.
Yeah.
I had, in the last game I played, I think I had 7 touches, which actually would have got Jason Horn-Francis 3 votes.
Well done. I'll pay that one 3 votes.
Get a cameo from Strawny, Collingwood fans. This is your chance.
This is your chance.
Hey, not just Collingwood fans. I say everyone loves Strawny.
Everybody does love Strawny.
Just so you know, Strawny, Jason Ackermanis, $156 he's charging.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, what I mean?
Strawny's got to look at this. Strawny's got to look at this.
Strawny needs to
I
talk
think
to his people.
you need to jump on there.
Jack up the price. And
Well, you better.
This is the season.
Listeners better get in now before I hike up the prices right now.
That's a great point.
Okay? All right.
Great point.
Yeah.
Well, may the best team win tomorrow, Strawny. Have a great game.
Strawny.
Strawny out.
Nathan, Nat, and Shaun. Yeah.
And
Promo on Nova.
Nathan, Nat, and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.